This is emergency management for Ireland. Whether you call it the Emerald Isles, Isles of the Mist, or just Ireland, this island is known for its charismatic people and stunning views, many of which have been the inspiration for poems, books, and plays. This country has been through some turbulent times, yet always seems to persevere and incorporate a positive change from the negative factors. Due to Ireland's geographic position, it is not subject to the major natural disasters such as volcanoes and earthquakes that seem to be prevalent in other countries. In the past years, Ireland was always known to be a relatively poor nation with a low level of industrialization. This, along with the disbursement of the population, limited the impact if an incident did occur. Emergency management was given a very low priority due to the combination of these factors. Ireland does not have a single agency that is responsible for emergency management. However, in this top-down approach, there is a government task force who is responsible for giving direction, creating policies, and overseeing emergency planning. Many agencies participate in the event of a major emergency. PRAs, or Principal Response Agencies, are responsible for civil protection. Volunteer organizations like the Irish Red Cross, Health Services, Irish Police Force, and firefighters will all respond when a disaster strikes. One of the few disasters that Ireland does suffer from is flooding after severe storms. Agencies such as the Agricultural and Rural Development try to educate the communities on the risks when flooding occurs. If there is a flood, emergency responders will handle incoming calls and send out teams to help with the relief effort. In most cases, responders on the local level, including the fire, emergency services, and road and drainage units, will all coordinate a response to remove the water efficiently and in the most direct manner. Local citizens will help by filling and strategically placing sandbags to minimize the damage that the flooding can cause. It is said that the emergency management really developed with the health sector after the Buddha Vale rail crash of 1980. A passenger train was diverted into a siding that caused the train to derail, resulting in 18 deaths. The health department set up a meeting to discuss the need for new emergency procedures. The result of this meeting was new guidelines for major accident plans, which include the responsibility of the local level responders. There were two events in Irish history that helped to create stronger fire emergency planning. The Whitty terminal explosion of 1979 had Ireland looking to stronger fire emergency planning. In 1979, there was an oil tanker that was in the process of emptying its contents when the tanker exploded off the coast of West Cork. The first blast tore the tanker in half, resulting in massive fires. Firefighters from several neighboring towns, military, and civilians were sent in an effort to help contain the fire. It was soon realized that due to the heat of the fire, the firefighters were not going to be able to get close enough to the tanker, so they concentrated their efforts on keeping the fires from spreading. Soon after the incident, there was a Tribune of Inquiry who found that fire plans that were being used from 1970 were not sufficient to deal with a disaster of this magnitude. New Maritime Fire Acts were set into effect. The second was the Stardust Fire, and it initiated another step in elevating awareness in emergency management planning for fire safety. The Stardust Club was entertaining two functions when a fire broke out. As the patrons tried to escape, there was a stampede when the patrons found that the exits to be blocked and there were bars on the window preventing their escape. It says that rescue personnel watched in horror from outside as the victims were crushed against the grills, desperate to flee the smoke and flames. A new long-term framework was put into effect under the Fire Service Acts of 1981 and 2003. Part of Ireland is still under British control. The Republic of Ireland elects a president and is under Irish rule, while the Northern Ireland is still under British rule. So what does this mean for the emergency management in Northern Ireland? The British have their own framework for emergency management, but rely on the territories to take steps to ensure that they are ready to cope with any disaster. The United Kingdom will send aid when a disaster strikes to one of their territories in the form of personnel, supplies, and military if necessary. They work closely with the governors of their overseas territory to initiate immediate emergency response and coordinate what assistance is needed from the United Kingdom. Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland work together when a disaster strikes, and the communications are kept open between the two fronts so that the loss of life and environment is minimal.